Oh man, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell.
Okay.
So somebody on Twitter posted today, who do you have as your greatest of all time? And it was a vote.
Of like NBA?
NBA.
Okay.
It was a vote.
Okay.
There were only 3 options to that vote.
Okay, I can probably guess.
You couldn't guess. Go ahead, guess.
The 3 options, like the 3 people you could choose from.
Yeah, 3 people you could choose
Michael has to be in it.
from. Yeah.
LeBron has to be in it.
Yeah.
Mainly because of like the current people think he's
Right.
the best. Ooh, the third one.
This dude said Kobe Bryant. That was your choice.
I could see somebody throwing that in there.
That was your choice.
Okay.
Kobe, LeBron, and Michael to pick from.
I don't like that.
So
I don't like it. It's too. I mean, they're great players, but it's too modern. Like that doesn't
it's
include.
ridiculous.
It doesn't include.
But here's how you know that it's too modern.
Yeah.
So my response was, LOL, Kobe. How do you even put Kobe in that conversation? Right?
Because Kobe is Michael. Very good player, amazing player,
right.
One of the best of all time. But he completely bit Michael's style.
Exactly.
Completely.
Exactly.
The way he chews gum, talks, walks.
We're getting to that. His response to me after I said that, right, was Michael Jordan even said that Kobe's better than LeBron. Right? So he's saying that Michael said that Kobe is better than LeBron. So that's why Kobe is top 3.
So that's how he thinks he'll end the debate. That's like he's saying, I think she's beautiful, and you say, I don't think so.
Right.
But because somebody else said, well, he said she.
It's like what you said. Michael Jordan sees the copy.
Right.
So he thinks,
of course he's going to like it.
It's like me.
Yeah.
Right. But that's nothing like you.
Right.
It looks like you, but it ain't you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they proceed to call me names, old head. Those old players aren't any good, because my thing was, if you're talking about the greatest of all time, LeBron doesn't actually belong in that conversation.
He does not.
Okay?
He does not.
You cannot have a conversation about greatest of all time that goes beyond Michael, Kareem, Wilt, and Bill Russell.
And if you want honorable mention when it comes to LeBron, like I tell everybody, wait till he retires. But for me right now, definitely cannot be the greatest.
Right.
Even though I like him.
Right. Right. So I was called all types of names, old head, I'm stupid, this and that, and so on and so forth.
Did you explain to them that the greatest of all time, you have to think about the guys that changed the game? Like, not just came out and hit shots, but like changed the rules. They had to, make a 3-second rule, or like guys that pulled out 100 rebounds in the game. Like, you can't ignore that. Average a triple-double your entire career. You got to talk about those people.
What upsets me is our young people refuse to acknowledge history.
Yeah.
They feel like history started when they were born. So, I mean, to me, if you're a fan of basketball and you want that conversation, greatest of all time, it would behoove you to then do some research. If you're that interested in knowing the truth, you need to be looking up Kareem's career. You need to understand Wilt's career so that you could either include them or disclude them from the conversation.
Yeah. The reason I don't give these young kids, when I say young kids, I'm talking about like 20-year-olds. They're younger than me.
Right.
The reason I don't give them any credit for not knowing, like, oh, they didn't know. They got YouTube, you got Google, 2 of the best tools to ever be at your fingertips. Like in the 80s, when I was younger, we didn't have all that. Like if you didn't have a VCR and a videotape, all you had to do was take somebody's word at the barbershop. Now you can go back, you can actually hear those guys talk about the great players themselves.
But we would go there, and then when the older people talked about Dr. J, talked about Kareem, talked about Wilt, we listened.
Right.
We're like, wow, he did that. Wow. They refuse to look past 2000. The reason they know Michael Jordan is because of the shoes.
Yeah, and the stats don't even back up half the stuff they're talking about. So that happens a lot.
It's crazy.
That happens a lot.
How do you even put your fingers to type Kobe Bryant, greatest of all time.
Yeah.
He's not even the greatest Laker.
That's when I just back away from the table. I just,
Just walk away.
Have you noticed that? Like, you can't debate. I don't mind debating with somebody who has great ideas and we go back and forth, and you might actually change my mind. Either way you look at it, we're cool at the end of it. But some people just are so close-minded and no facts or stats.
Right, but I would think that you would want to learn.
Yeah.
You would want to learn. And I'm not saying that I'm here to teach you.
Nah.
I'm just here to give you a point of reference.
Yeah.
And you need to go and you need to look and see who Oscar Robertson was.
Kobe, the greatest of all time.
You know what I mean? You need to go back and see who Pete Maravich was. You know what I mean? I never saw any of these people play.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be running around talking about that they don't deserve a claim to their greatness.
But really, all you have to do is listen to a lot of the best players to ever play. They'll tell you who was good and why. And you can look at the stats to back it up. You can look at the number of championships they've won. There's a lot of really great players that, go ignored because people just get stuck on the Kobe.
Right. And again, that's the most ridiculous part of it to me, is including Kobe in the conversation.
Yeah. So it ended where like you just got off Twitter, just call it a day.
No, I kept on going with them all day.
You gotta have a drop the mic moment though.
I kept on going.
I can't
but
go all day.
There's no drop the mic moment when they can't acknowledge anything other than women.
Yo, son, silence is golden at some points. Like
here's a tweet dude said to me, LeBron is in the GOAT convo, you dumb old head.
That is so disrespectful. And you know what? That is bullying at its finest.
That is bullying at its
not
finest.
Appropriate.
You know what I'm saying? What is that? Wow.
Now he tries to insult you. I'm assuming you dropped a lot of facts on him. That's what happened.
Man, I did.
Because on the playground you run out of information and then it goes stupid, dumb. Like that's how it happens.
Yes. You saying LeBron isn't in the GOAT convo is autistic, which is very
now that's even worse.
That's even worse.
That could be report. Is there a report button on Twitter? Because I'm not on Twitter like that. Like you just report.
Right.
Yeah, that doesn't even make sense. Yeah, see, after that comment, I'd have to stop talking to him because it makes no sense.
Exactly. That's what they do, and that's what bothers me. Like, just look at history. It's all right for you to come and say LeBron is the greatest of all time. That's a conversation that we can have, although you can't have it without acknowledging Wilt, Bill Russell, Kareem, and Michael Jordan. So if you're going to say LeBron is in that group and he's the best of that group, that's actually arguable. But
yeah, it's still very early.
It's still early. To me, 2 rings with the Lakers and that scoring record, first to second, LeBron has then an argument. But to me, he can never catch Michael Jordan's 6-for-6. That is what separates Jordan from everybody. He shows up to the finals, he wins the finals, and he takes home the finals MVP. No one else in NBA history can say that. And this is from a Knicks fan who despises Michael Jordan.
Yeah, 6-for-6 is a big deal.
6-for-6 with 6 MVPs.
Yeah. And now, he did play a couple teams that were kind of shaky, but still.
I don't know. He never went to a Game 7 against any of them. He finished them all out in, I believe, like Game 6.
The Blazers.
It's starting to get scary when all them sixes show up.
Yeah.
6 championships, 6 finals MVPs, 6 Game 6s. LeBron says he made a deal with the devil.
Chooses gum 6 times, then stops, spits it out.
Even to talk about Kobe Bryant not being in that elite group of basketball players, I have a high respect for Kobe Bryant.
Oh, yeah.
I know most people, they're going to hear me say that and be like, no, you don't. No, you don't. No, what I don't like is people elevating him to a stature beyond what he actually is.
Right.
But for what he actually is, he gets plenty of respect. And he is one of those chalkboard nerds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
That will study everything. Studies everything about you. Studies everything about his opponent. Everything about himself. A gym rat. Just a constant effort to try to get better and try to get the edge. Kobe was great for that. And Tom Brady also. I mean, you can't be playing when you're 41, 42 without a continued intellectual development.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you got to find some way to make up for your loss of physical skills.
Now, Kobe used to always implement other great players' skills into his game. Like,
Right.
for example, Hakeem Olajuwon went and practiced with him, implemented parts of his game, learned some things about the post. I mean, who does that? He's not even his position. So he always did little things like that to make him better. So he always had something in the repertoire, which, I mean, it made him hard to guard. The dude's unstoppable.
I saw some story maybe last week or a week before about Kobe's studying habits. I should have marked it because it was incredible. It was like, you know, this dude is just a total nerd. He's just a total basketball nerd.
He's cerebral. That's the word. I mean, and the fact that, you know, he was overseas with his dad. They said he spent a lot of time in the gym. He was dedicated. He's definitely dedicated to his craft. So that's one thing I can't say anything about the dude. He played through injuries. He changed, you know, his playing style to adjust to how his body was responding at the time. I got to give it to him. And Kobe definitely is one of the greatest of all time, but he is not the greatest.
Right. I don't even think he's top 10, honestly. Everybody else definitely says he's top 10. I don't even give him top 10. I think he's in that 11 to 15 category.
I think this is a good topic, a good show topic to have.
It is. And the reason why I say that is because you can't elevate him beyond certain names, right? And those names are Michael Jordan, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Michael Jordan, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That's 4.
Yeah.
All right? Yeah. After that 4, now you're talking about Magic,
the logo,
Bird, the logo, right? And then we got the centers, Shaq, Hakeem, Tim Duncan. We're at 8 or 9 right there.
Yeah.
Right? And we didn't talk about Oscar Robertson. We didn't talk about Dr. J.
Nope.
Right? All those names must be mentioned before you get to Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
And once you get to Kobe Bryant, then you got to start talking about Isaiah Thomas.
Yep.
Right? And a few others that really did the most with a little help winning championships or even a championship. So he's in that 11 to 15 group. And, you know, that's a considerable achievement. That's, you know, I'm not poo-pooing that achievement.
Right.
That is significant. But let's stop trying to push him into this greatest of all time, you know, top 10 situation. It just can't be done. You can't do that without.
They're doing it just because they got
history.
to see him play. Because they got to see him play, they just say, okay, this is definitely Kobe.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the thing about that, you got to see him play, but he wasn't. He was never really the best in the game during his time.
That's true. That's very true.
Dude, he was never the best player in the world.
That's very true. Definitely a top tier player.
Definitely a top tier, maybe top 2 or 3 at his
Agreed,
best.
but never the
Never
top.
the best. If he ever achieved the point of being the very best basketball player in the world, it was extremely short-lived. Maybe 1 season.
How many MVPs does he have?
1.
1 regular season.
Maybe. He might not have 1.
That's.
He might not.
I know he's got a finals, at least 1 or 2.
He's got 2 finals MVPs.
Yeah.
Right? So he might not have 1 NBA MVP. Now, people will say Steve Nash stole 1, which is fine. That's fair. But like I said, at his best time, Jason Kidd was dominating the league. Iverson was dominating the league. Tim Duncan was dominating the league. Kobe was never at the top.
He had
the very top.
1 in 2008.
Right.
That was it. And then 2 finals MVPs.
That could have been, and 2008 was probably not even his best season. That was probably a we owe you one MVP award.
Yeah. Nod and a wink.
Right.
This is for you, Kobe.
Right. Just like they won't give LeBron more MVPs, just like they stopped giving Jordan MVPs. The MVP award in the NBA is real
They just
fishy.
want to spread it around.
It's just real fishy.
Yeah.